Can you folks see the screen? All right. So for those of you who are new, what is Bring It Home? It's a legislative campaign. It's a statewide campaign that's focused on passing state legislation with the goal of creating a universal housing stability, creating universal housing stability through rent vouchers. And we see this a rent voucher system through the Section 8. It's really famous. However, not many people there aren't enough vouchers to really close the gap and the need. And it takes months or even years for folks to really get the rent support that they deserve. It would provide relief to over 550,000 Minnesotans struggling to make ends meet. And like I said earlier, 75% of qualifying Minnesotans that would receive a voucher can't because there aren't enough. So where are we in this campaign? It's about, a little closer to the middle of the legislative session. And we had our first committee hearing in the House of Representatives on February 15th. And I just want to give a huge shout out to all our partner organizations who were there, folks that testified. I know that many of you attended a watch party, and that was so amazing to just hear what you folks thought, and really for you folks to have a front row seat of what it takes to really get legislation passed, and it's amazing. The following day, the DFL House Housing Plan came out from the House of Representatives from the Democrats, and in that plan there was a $400 million rent stability inclusion, which is us. That is rent for rent stability, right? So that's Bring It Home. That's a huge step, and I think you folks should really applaud yourself, and really we should be celebrating this win. It's pretty big, it's massive. However, it's something that we need to really take into consideration and push forward, because the need is much greater than this. That's right. Yeah, I see a lot of hand claps. And we also had a February weeks of action. Originally it was a week of action, but it took about 2 weeks to really get all the meetings set. And just a breakdown of those meetings, right? We had over 39 meetings with state legislators in 2 weeks, and staff had little, we guided somewhat. However, Beacon leaders really stepped up and really batted for Bring It Home and housing bonding bills that Beacon is really pushing. And with that, we had a huge turnout. Over 274 people attended meetings, and that's you really being committed to Bring It Home, really being committed to housing stability. So I have to applaud you, and you should be super proud of yourselves and the way we're growing as a collaborative. What this means, right, as we move forward, it's really progress, right? However, we need to understand that we still are fighting for a universal package that will and should include help for 550,000 people that really need this, the housing vouchers. So we need to continue to push House Speaker Hortman and Senate Majority Leader Miller, because we need to be included in their budgets for 2022. And that's something that I believe we're gearing towards, and you folks are really getting to see as you're coming into the legislative session that it is doable, and folks are willing to really meet with you folks, right? Because you are constituents, and really it's you folks hold a lot of power, and you should believe that you do have power. So thank you. Thank you to everyone that has been active, went into set up legislative meetings, met with legislators, and really pushed them to really understand and hear your stories, because personal stories are so important and so powerful. And so you should be incredibly proud of yourselves. That's right. Yes. That's right, Dan. And if you have any stories or just like wins that you believe happened during these legislative meetings, feel free to put them in the chat. We would love to hear how it went. And yeah. And so before we move on to something else, we do have an action plan for you folks. I want to give you folks some updates, right? Aside from the updates that I gave you, a day ago, it was released that now we have over $9 billion surplus in the state. So that was something that was news to many Minnesotans. It was news to us, right? And so now there is more of a pot of money that we can really tap into to really fund Bring It Home. And so many other needed programs throughout the state, right? That help people really have stable lives and can bring very much, create really good pillars for stability throughout. And so that's a very unique, I would say, opportunity that we have going on right now. So we have to really refocus our efforts moving forward and plan things slightly differently, but at the same time, still remaining strategic and tactical around Bring It Home and whatever we're gonna be focusing on. And so with that, I want to introduce Justin and Ricky, who will be guiding you folks through a new action that we're trying to develop here at Beacon to really make everyone's experience slightly better, be more efficient on the way that we engage with folks. And so with that, I will, let's see, pass it on to Justin and Ricky.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Nestor, could you stop sharing your screen?
Yes, I can.
Thank you, friend. Well, good morning, everybody. How are we doing this beautiful March 1st? Excellent. It's so good to see all of you. And I am really excited. 2 years ago, when I started with Beacon Interfaith Housing Collaborative, I was really excited about an organization that provided shelter for families today, that built homes for tomorrow, that looked towards the future to change policies and systems, one of which was Bring It Home Minnesota. Now, a couple of years ago, this was just an idea. This was just something that Beacon was stepping its toes into. They hired this guy named Ben. He seemed pretty cool. And now 2 years later, as Nestor said, we have had historic movement on a vision where fully funded rent subsidy is on the horizon. And that is something to be really, really proud of. All of the work and all of the momentum has been led by you, people of faith across the Twin Cities, and the collaboration of about 100 congregations in the Twin Cities Metro, and 39 legislative visits. Wow, I'm gonna round of applause again for that. Over 200 folks had quality contacts with our legislators to let them know that we need historic investments in housing this year. And now we need to bring the quantity. And that is what I'm really excited about, because 2 years ago, Beacon did a postcard drive. How many of you remember the postcards we did? We filled out hundreds, oodles of postcards, but that was before we were in a global pandemic. And now most of our congregations are either still fully virtual or in some kind of hybrid. And that's why this year we wanted to come up with a tool that allowed us to give folks, no matter how they're choosing to worship, an opportunity to sign on to Bring It Home and make sure that every single person had an opportunity to say, I want you to support Bring It Home this year. And that's why we created a digital postcard. It's simple to use, simple to get in the hands of folks in our congregations. And I'm going to walk through that with you really quick. I'm going to fill it out right now, actually. Y'all want to walk through this digital form with me real quick?
Sounds good.
This digital postcard is so much fun. So this is a link, basically a similar jot form. And as you see, past Bring It Home Minnesota, House File 40, Senate File 333 in 2022. I'm going to walk through the steps on how to use this. And I think Dan, he's going to put it in the chat so you can all see this process as well. How to use this postcard? Well, first things first, we're going to go to locate your legislator. When I click on this tab, it'll open up a link. Oh boy. There, now I can actually see my tabs. And you type in your address. When you type in your address, it'll list your House representative and your state senator. Step 2 in the form is to enter your House rep's email into the legislator email box. So I have the lovely Representative Athena Hollins. I'm just going to cut and paste that right into this here form. The next step is to fill out the digital postcard. My name is Justin Lewandowski, and I, as a person of faith, believe all people should have a home. If you fill out the rest of this form, you can see it's very similar to just a regular postcard. You fill out your name. We want them to know why we care about housing as a person of faith, as an individual, as a moral issue, a personal story that you might have about why bringing home and rent subsidy is important to you. And then we just fill out the rest of this information. You put in your email address. You put in your congregation, where you're from. And then you type in, if you're one of our partners or from a partner organization, you can enter that here as well. This is the fun part, folks. You can sign this like an actual postcard. See my little mouse here? I'm going to click. It's not going to look pretty, but look at that. Oh, isn't that great? Justin Lewandowski. I'm going to sign and date this and hit submit. Now, this is what your legislator is going to get. They're going to get an email from you with your signature and why you want to see Bring It Home Minnesota pass this year. Now, why is that exciting? Well, like I said, we had almost 40 legislative contacts with over 200 folks. Now we need to bring our congregations with us. And I am really excited about some of the exciting opportunities that we have as congregations and communities of faith across the Twin Cities to bring thousands of individuals with us. So over the next week, the signature is Picasso. Elodie, thank you so much for that. I've been really working on that. This form can be sent out in an email blast. It can be put on social media. You can do phone banks. And as congregations and deacon leadership teams, over the next week, you're going to be working with your organizers and me to get this into the hands of hundreds and hundreds of folks in our faith communities across the collaborative. How many of you have heard me or someone in this organization say the term joyful urgency? This is where I see the joy and the joyful urgency. This isn't just an opportunity for us to get people to fill out a digital postcard. This is an opportunity for us to be contagious with our hope and our vision that all people can have a home. This legislative session, we have a serious opportunity to invite hundreds of people with us into this joyful vision that we have this year to make those historic investments into housing. This form is just an opportunity for us to invite folks in to sign on. Teresa already did it. Boom, to everybody, round of applause for Teresa. Just literally took action with us while I was speaking. And so I'm really excited to be a resource for all of you. All of your organizers are here to be a resource for you. Do you want a table after church? We've got a paper version of this that's super easy to use as well. Do you want to do a conversation training with me sometime? Reach out. I want to make sure that you are all comfortable on getting this form, this digital postcard, into the hands of folks of faith in our communities to make sure that our legislators are hearing not just from 200, but from 2,000. If every single person here got 20 people in our personal lives to sign this thing, we'd already be at our goal. Think about that. Now, I'm personally really excited to talk to my friends and family, but also to work with all of you to make sure that we can get this into the hands of our communities. Ricky, do you want to add anything, friend? I know we were going to do a little role play.
This is, I think, a really wonderful opportunity to really bring our communities together to make sure that our legislators know that this is something that we want as people of faith, and that when we go together, we can really make great things happen. So this is I'm new to Beacon, but this is a very exciting time to be coming in to be able to bring this wonderful action to our legislators.
And if you haven't already gotten an email from your organizer about this tool and our plan for March, between now, March 1st and March 31st, across the collaborative, we are trying to get 2,000 folks to fill out this digital form. I'm going to go back to the form again for one reason. Some of our state representatives are tricky. So I have Athena Hollins and John Marty, both awesome legislators. They're super great. Now, Representative Hollins has an email address right here, but Senator John Marty has a email form. I just wanted to lift this up quick because some legislators use their own version of a form, and it's super easy to use. All you have to do is just fill out the information from the postcard and cut and paste it into their version of that form. So if you come across a legislator who has an email, you can use our digital postcard. If they have a email form, you can just cut and paste the information right into their own legislator's form. Some legislators like Senator Bobby Joe Champion, he still has an email address. So if you come across a legislator who uses their own form, simple. You just cut and paste our content into their form and can send it from there. So if you have any other questions, I know that we're closing on time today. I'm going to pass it back to Nestor, but reach out to Ricky, reach out to me, reach out to Emily, reach out to Deb, reach out to each other. Let's have some fun this month and make sure that we're getting thousands of people to join the excitement of bringing home Minnesota in 2022. Can I get a high five into the camera? It's my favorite thing. It's really, you don't get to high five 108 people all at once, but when you do, it feels really good. So thank you all very much. I'm going to pass it back to Nestor.
Whoa. Thank you so much, Justin. Appreciate all your help. So much energy. So awesome. And thank you so much, Ricky, for helping out too. And just to reiterate that, these are the tools that we're coming up with because we want to be more intentional. We do want to reach as many folks as possible with this form. So be sure to share it with your communities, your congregations, and that's right, make a video. And we need to make sure that legislators see this, right? And as we move forward in the legislative session, they should take note that Beacon and its collaborative is powerful. We want to send a message, a statement that we are active, we have the commitment, we are committed to bring it home Minnesota, and we're committed to much, much more. But this is our current fight, and we want to make a difference. And with that, I do have I don't have much more for you folks. The only thing is that we definitely want to send out as many digital postcards as possible throughout March, and be on the lookout for other emails from us with like more actions. But we are definitely gearing up for April to be a really eventful month for Bring It Home, because we definitely want to create a lot of momentum in April. We want to go to the state capitol, maybe go to congregations. We want to engage with the governor. We want to engage with the Senate Majority Leader Jeremy Miller, right over in Winona. We definitely want to engage with Speaker Hortman. And it's such an interesting dynamic right now because there is a surplus. There is mass redistricting happening right now. And it's a re-election year, right? So many people's priorities are shifting one way or the other, right? And there is a huge opportunity that I believe we're really making we're making use of this opportunity that we have. And we have to continue on believing that we can make a difference, because I believe we can. And I mean, I've seen the commitment that you folks are showing up to these legislative meetings. Close to 300 folks really registering and really going in and sharing their stories. That's impressive. And not many organizations, collaboratives can really say that they did that in 2 weeks. So that's amazing, folks. Keep at it, keep the momentum going, and let's make 2022 a really phenomenal year for housing stability. Yeah. So applause to you all. Thank you so much for joining us today. That's right, Judith. And let's keep at it. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think we're set, Dan and Ben. Yeah. Thanks, y'all. Have a blessed day.